Tonight, the first heartbreaking farewell from the wedding day bus tragedy, the bride and groom among the mourners. Canberra gives Ukraine more money to fight Russia after Vladimir Putin's disastrous weekend. A truckie charged over this dangerous move in Sydney's northwest. More pain for your pay packet with childcare about to bite family budgets even harder. New harbour ferries are on the way, designed and built in Australia. And Fergie reveals her battle with breast cancer.
Live from Sydney, 7 News with Mark Ferguson.
Good evening, beautiful, kind and exuberant. That's how Angus Craig was remembered today at the first funeral for one of the victims of the Hunter Valley wedding bus crash. Among the mourners, the bride and groom, who now have the unbearable task of farewelling 10 of their closest friends.
They should be on their honeymoon. Instead, Matty Edsel and Mitchell Gaffney are facing the unfathomable. 10 funerals, the first for Angus Craig.
We know goodbyes hurt the most, especially when the story of life is unfinished and life ends in such unimaginable circumstances.
Angus's sister fought back tears as she spoke about her baby brother, who was about to become an uncle.
How cruel is this loss? A lovely, well-mannered, gorgeous boy who had matured incredibly to a fun-loving, responsible, thoughtful and good-looking man.
A man who never took life for granted. An engineer, Angus travelled across the country for work, enjoyed water sports, football, but he loved nothing more than his family and partner Bella. The couple had just moved in together.
My tomorrows look different now. I'm forever a better person for having loved and been loved by you, Angus.
Today marks a very sad chapter for the loved ones of those tragically killed. In the coming weeks, friends, families and colleagues will have to do this over and over again as they attend a painful procession of funerals right across the country. On Wednesday, junior doctor Rebecca Mullen will be laid to rest in Singleton. Kane Simmons in Hobart. All 10 bus crash victims were honoured with a minute's silence today. Before a final farewell to the man with so many nicknames, Angie, Gus, Gussie, forever 28.
You have now gone on one final holiday from which you won't be returning. But I know that you'll be sitting there waiting for me with some stupid present, a big corny smile on your face and arms wide open for a big Angus cuddle.
Annie Puller, 7 News.
Canberra has promised $100 million more to help Ukraine defeat Russia, less than a day after Vladimir Putin suffered a stunning attack from within. Right now, his leadership has never looked shakier after the weekend uprising by a rebel army. Now, a growing number of Russian people seem ready for change.
A picture of the conflict that could have been. Chechen soldiers who'd raced from the Ukraine front line to defend Vladimir Putin from the advancing Wagner mercenaries. No one thinks this Russian drama is over.
I don't want to speculate on it, but I don't think we've seen the final act.
Wagner's 25,000 troops had come within 200 kilometres of Moscow before leader Yevgeny Prigozhin called off the coup, fleeing into exile in neighbouring Belarus. He didn't look like a defeated general. These scenes will worry Putin, civilians openly celebrating the insurrection, and here, rare media criticism.
This is a serious blow to the authority of the country.
Echoed by these soldiers of the Storm Z unit. Angry, the mutiny is over. Many saying this marks the beginning of the end for Putin and uncertain times for nuclear Russia.
What the West doesn't want is complete chaos and a breakdown of law and order.
For Ukraine, though, the disarray provides advantage.
This begins to open some doors of opportunity.
Today, the Australian government committed another $110 million.
And we'll continue to engage with Ukraine for as long as it takes.
But still none of the off-road armoured Hawkeye vehicles they've been chasing.
This has taken too long and is too little.
Ukraine's advances now will only contribute to destabilising Putin, the once bare-chested Russian strongman, increasingly looking like the emperor with no clothes. Chris Reason, 7 News.
And Tim Lester joins me now live from Washington. Tim, what does America think Vladimir Putin will do next?
Well, Mark, we certainly weren't getting clues from Putin himself in the day after the attempted coup because he was completely out of sight. But America asking a number of questions, in particular, how will he deal with Yevgeny Prigozhin, the leader of the coup, but also the leader of that military force that's been fighting Putin's wars around the world and certainly in Ukraine to good effect. Some believe Prigozhin will be shot in coming months or killed somehow on Putin's orders. Others say no, he's been too valuable. Putin will seek to re-engage him. There's a big question about how Vladimir Putin deals with his military leaders. The military utterly ineffective as the 24-hour coup was taking place. It's not even clear many of the lower down military leaders were following orders. So does Putin sack his military leaders? Who knows? Well, going forward, America's sure of one thing. While they want him to lose in Ukraine, they may not want him to lose altogether because they don't want an unstable Russia. Mark.
Tim Lester with the latest from Washington, D.C. Thank you. A row between Russia and Canberra has come to an abrupt end. A Russian diplomat who had been squatting has now left the site of Moscow's planned embassy after a High Court ruling. Earlier this month, the federal government passed legislation terminating Russia's lease on the land near Parliament due to national security concerns. Russia argued the law was unconstitutional, but the case was dismissed.
Australia supports the law. Russia hasn't been real good at upholding the law in recent times.
No decision has been made on the future use of the land.